Bruce Gates movie review. I just got out of One Battle After Another. This is the newest Paul Thomas Anderson film. My first of his, actually, to my knowledge at least. And I gotta say, it was an experience. It really, I would say, in one word, if I could sum it up, is exciting. It's an exciting film. It has you on the edge of your seat the entire time. You really don't even know where the story's going. I don't know if that's a thing about his other films. I've heard he's kind of experimental with his narratives, but overall, I mean, it was just a really fun ride. All the performances were really solid. Leonardo DiCaprio is just continuing to prove like he's the GOAT, basically. Everything I've ever seen him in, he's just top notch. And I guess on the other performances, Tiana Taylor did a good job for the small amount she was in the film, actually. I expected her to be in there more, but yeah. The daughter, I don't know who she's played by off the top, but she did a good job. I feel like one of my drawbacks with the film was that I didn't really think the bond between her and Leo's character as the dad was really set up to the level that I think they were hoping for it to be set up. Like, the ending happens, and it's emotional. It's an emotional ending. It does get you in your feels a little bit, but I feel like there's not enough building up to that for the ending to hit as much as I think they are hoping. And so that was a drawback. Some of the film, I guess it feels like it tangents into different sections, or it spends a little too much time on little side characters, which is okay, but it kind of is to the detriment of the main plot. And so I'm not entirely, like, I feel like this could have been trimmed back a little bit on other areas, and then the main plot could have been focused upon a little more. So yeah, that was another nitpick. Sean Penn's character, very, very expressive, exciting, hilarious, just wildly out of his mind the whole time, which is funny. His ending is just, it's great. The irony of him, well, I'm not going to spoil nothing, but him getting to the point he does in the end, and him still not succeeding in getting to that point that he wants to be in the very end. But so that was a nice thing to see, since he is the villain of the film. Overall, the shots are crazy. I've heard that this is like an amazing experience shot-wise, and that's why I was interested. Personally, I don't think it was up to par with what people have made it out to be. Some of the scenes are fantastic, and I didn't see it in VistaVision, which is what it was shot in, so I'm not entirely sure on if that would really change much. I just seen it kind of in the regular format, so I'm sure if you've seen it in a nicer theater, it'd be even better. But the theater I seen it in was really good still, and so yeah, I can see the vision. I can see what people are like applauding as the best of the year. Now, what I say it is, I don't know, because we have Sinners this year. Sinners was fantastic. I think shot-wise, Sinners is more cinematic, and it has much more grandiose visuals. And then Weapons is another, I would say, sleeper of the year. I think Weapons was fantastic this year. Everything about that, just an amazing movie. With the direction in that movie is fantastic. The cinematography is fantastic. And so there's some heavy hitters. Bring Her Back is a really big sleeper right now, but that was an amazing film that came out this year as well. And so I don't know, visually, this isn't maybe my favorite, but the scenes that do hit, like, I was hearing a lot of talk about the chase scene at the end. No spoilers, but there's a chase scene, and they're going through this winding road in the desert. And I actually recently went across country with my family, and so seeing that on screen and it capturing perfectly how it actually felt real life, like driving cross country, it was actually very impressive. Because when you're on vacation and taking these pictures, it actually doesn't really capture it at all. So the fact that they captured the scenery and the road and the anxiety of driving for that long on those winding roads actually is super impressive. And yeah, I can understand that scene. It is a chase scene in the most non-chase scene way, which is that people that are in the chase scene don't even realize they're being chased. Or I should say they don't realize that they are chasing somebody else. So it's just a crazy ride. And yeah, I'm just very impressed by that scene specifically, just by how much tension is built through such a great score and such simple visuals that work so well in what they're doing. The score in this movie is out of this world. I'm not sure who did it. I'm yet to look that up. But the choices of songs, the actual audio quality of the songs, like a lot of the songs that are used in this are fuzzy, and in your ear it adds to the kind of retro vision that the movie's going for, looks wise. It actually adds to it because in your ears you're seeing static on the screen, like little, fuzz on the camera from the cameras, and then you're also hearing fuzz in your ears, so it works in tandem so beautifully. And yeah, what else can I say? I would not go as far to say it's my favorite film of the year. That currently might be Weapons. Oh, and another thing, now that I'm thinking about it, this was something I heard a lot, was that this film was a breath of fresh air because it ends on a hopeful note. And I do agree, it is a very hopeful ending. But personally, this almost just feels like a hopeful movie for film bros when we already got the number one hopeful film of the year, which is obviously Superman. And not saying you have to watch Superman and that's where you get your hope from. But what I am saying is I enjoyed Superman, and so Superman was just a million times more hopeful to me than this. And not taking anything away from this, but I already had my fill of hope this year, so this is just adding on to it, which is cool. But I wouldn't say this is like the world-changing event that some people are making it out to be with how much hope they say it is giving them. But so yeah, overall, it kept me entertained the whole time. It kept me on my seat's edge. I really was confused on where the narrative was going the whole time, in a good way. I understood, though, like, this is a very messy film with how much it switches perspectives, but it's, once you get locked in, after like the first 10 minutes, you are locked in the whole time, and it is extremely clear on where or how everything has been laid out. So it's not a confusing film. You can stay up to date, but it's so winding. Sorry, I had to switch locations real quick, but yeah, what I was saying is that the narrative is so winding that even though it's clear, it keeps you in the dark for what is coming next. So as things are happening, it's easy to understand, okay, this thing led to that thing, led to that thing. But while you're going through it, it's hard to predict what is going to happen next. And I really enjoyed that. And yeah, I guess one more a little tiny thing I had about this movie was, within the first, 15 minutes, it's a very, almost like a, I don't know, there's a very sensual undertone for a lot of the beginning of it. And I just thought it would be, built upon, or there was going to be a reason for it. And it just really felt kind of like out of nowhere, because the rest of the film is just like pretty straightforward and there's not much of that. It does set up stuff, so like it's important, I guess, narratively, but the amount of it. And there's one scene in particular, and if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's almost just too much, in my opinion. Like it's very odd, and maybe that's one of his quirks as a filmmaker. But I personally am not a big fan of that style of filmmaking, where it's over the top when it comes to, like, sexual stuff or sensual stuff. And, call me a prude, but that's not necessarily my thing. So it was just, kind of weird. But overall, I would still say this movie's very solid. I seen another review as I was driving home, and I've heard this from another person, at least one other guy reviewing this movie, and they've both said it's in contention for film of the decade, and I don't see that personally. I don't think this movie's... I obviously like this movie, but I don't think this movie is as groundbreaking as people are saying it is. And I think people are getting caught up because it looks pretty, but even the cinematography is not to the standard that I would say is, groundbreaking. I think narratively it's very good, but it's just so in those areas when we're talking about films of the decade. So, yeah, I would very much go, if you're interested, I would go see it for yourself, form your own opinion, and then see if you agree with those takes. But don't take people's word for it, because I personally don't agree. But don't take my word for it either. Go watch it. Go enjoy it. Go form your own opinion and let me know. Bruce Gates, movie review, out. Peace.